And so if George was to tell us stories about this next inductee, we would be here for about 3 days. But I present to you Art Kojoyian, okay, and George Winkler is going to be his presenter.
Football coach at Newton South, I had to get a staff together. I was after Harry Crump to come to BU, which he didn't do, but I got the next best guy, this coach, who's going to be left Westboro to be my assistant. I'm not through yet. Wait a minute.
He's always been I'm your assistant.
He did an outstanding job as he took care of the defense. I took care of the offense, and we worked together hand in hand. Needless to say, he's still coaching. To this day, he's been in other parts of the world to coach at Reston, Virginia right now, and I said to him, "You mean to tell me you're still coaching?" "Sure," he says. "Well, what do? I could still get down at a three-point stance and throw the flipper and everything of that sort." As you remember, Steve, he was a great asset for us here in Newton South because he taught the kids how to play the game and how to hit and get used to hitting, which we weren't always aware of it. We had some backs that could run off tackle. They ran way out there. I said, "You gotta run in the hole." But we had a lot of fun, and I enjoyed my years with Kanji, and we went scouting together, had our meetings and whatnot, and he is a great asset to Newton South, not only in football, but in wrestling, and he did some track. And it's with great honor I introduce a great gentleman who has been with us a long time, Art Kojoyian.
I don't know why I was picked to be the anchorman. I say very little. I'm quiet. I'm not too loud. And you know what? It was funny. I ran into Gail Eaton. Now she's Mrs. Roberts. And you know, when we were practicing outside there, and I go by the science wing, she said she had her windows open there, and I guess I was out there doing a little coaching and might have been a little loud. She said they was coming right in and going out the other window. So I guess those who were teaching at that particular area may have heard a few things. I hope they're all good. I first of all want to thank George Winkler. You know, I was head coach for 10 years at Westboro High School, and I enjoyed being head. I never was an assistant coach. I became head coach first. I went back to my own hometown. Westboro was my hometown. I played at Westboro High School, and in fact, when I went back there, I had some of the same teachers I was teaching with that I had as a student. And we're having great years and so forth. And I didn't realize until I ran into George again. I'd forgotten, you know, and George had tried to recruit some of the players we had. And of course, he mentioned Harry Crump. Well, Harry Crump went on to play at Boston College, and then Harry Crump went on to play with the Patriots until he injured his shoulder. And I would like to indicate that Harry Crump is here tonight. He came up from Florida. Also, his brother I coached, who came in from Connecticut. And so I want to thank both. Both of Harry and Ronnie here this evening, but I also would like to thank every individual that I was able to coach here at Newton South. It was an honor and a privilege to have worked with you. You know, some of the stories you guys came up with when I ran into you at Buff's Pub at the game on Thursday, and then run into you, I can't believe that. I don't know if that's on the level. You're building some of those things up, but if they happen, wow. What is it? I would like to tell you a story here. There are a number of them, but I think this is a pretty good one. Coach and I were sitting in the phys ed office, which is where was the football office when football season was there. And George asked me, he said, you know what, we've already had a week of practice, I'm sure a week and a half before school opened. And as a coach, you're always looking for more ball players. Hey, are there any other kids in the school that would be able to play and so forth? Well, I said, George, there was an assembly today, and I was sitting in about 2 or 3 rows behind this kid. And he was enormous. Big head, shoulders, and that. I said, impossible. The kid, he's probably a senior, and if he were a ball player, he would have been out with us. So, okay, and then I'm talking and that, and all of a sudden, George, there he goes. Because I was looking out the window, and I said, George, turn around, there the guy goes. And by the time he turned, he was out of sight. Then all of a sudden, there was a knock on the door. And I opened the door, here's this big guy standing, he says, I want to play football. I said, you're damn right you're going to play. and I want to tell you, he turned up. And this is Dick Clemens. I think some of you all, like Steve and those, will remember. If you saw Dick Clemens, you turn around and go the other way. And I'll tell you what, it said that George was an innovator. You're darn right he was. You know what? He made sure we ran the ball over Dick Clemens. Dick Clemens weighed about 240. And boy, I'll tell you what, all the other kids, when they saw him, their eyes popped. They couldn't believe there was a guy that big. And when he walked on the balls of his feet. Boy, I'll tell you, he got your attention in many ways. So that's a little bit of a story I'd like to talk about. There's another good one. This is about a wrestler. Because I coached football and wrestling, and it was nice to get the football players to wrestle and wrestlers to play football. It helped out both squads. Well, this was a year that I had a wrestler. He was really good. And actually, he only wrestled for about 1.5 years. But somehow I kept telling him when he was playing football, hey, come out for wrestling, we'll make you a state champ. Oh, no. And finally, midway through his junior season, junior year, he came out. Well, he was playing basketball. He was on the basketball team. However, for some reason, he decided to give it up in the middle of the year. So he came out and he learned how to wrestle. Now, his senior year, he became an outstanding wrestler, and he was undefeated. So I'm on the committee.